Welcome to Bear Download. I'm Rich Campbell along with Dan Wiederer. We are here at Hallis Hall on Wednesday. It's Devin Hester week, Dan. The Bears getting ready to face their former return man. A lot of talk about how a struggling special teams unit is going to be able to contain him. What'd you make of some of the things that we've heard today from guys like Joe DeCamillis, Robbie Gould, and Pat O'Donnell?
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about. First guy we heard from today on a conference call was Devin Hester, who obviously is very excited to go up against his former team and a team that he said didn't offer him a contract in margin. So he found a new home in Atlanta, and now the Bears have the challenge of trying to contain him, not only as a return guy, but as a receiver as well. On the return end of things, obviously, you got to have a plan, and Joe DeCamillis talked about that. People can sit at home and say, hey, kick away from Devin Hester, send every kickoff through the back of the end zone, send every punt out of bounds. It's not that easy. There's a lot more that goes into it, so you have to be prepared to cover. The Bears have their hands full, and they've got a challenge ahead of them, and it's really interesting to note a guy like Pat O'Donnell, a rookie in his 6th game, and a guy like Robbie Gould, who obviously spent a lot of time around Devin Hester, both trying to put together game plans to limit Devin Hester.
Right, and you look at the punt return game. Pat O'Donnell had a really nice week last week, averaged a 52-yard gross, but the Falcons come in 4th in the NFL in punt return average. The Bears are 25th. Obviously, the big return, the kind of wacky play, no consequence rule coming into effect for the long touchdown return last week. But yeah, like you said, I mean, Robbie Gould even talked about this. You can't just say boot it out of the back of the end zone, because if you try and you don't hang it up high enough and it falls short,
too short,
right, then he's bringing it out and he's got a lot of room to run. He's just that explosive, and I think Devin has shown in Atlanta that he's not done. I mean, he still has that explosive ability. Already has one punt return for a touchdown this year.
He's still to be feared. And Sonoris Perry, obviously an undrafted rookie who was on that punt coverage team, said this guy's a daredevil. And so as a coverage guy, you have to be aware of that. This guy's going to take chances. He's going to look for green grass. And so you can't be done until you've got that guy wrapped up and on the ground or out of bounds. And so the Bears have to be aware of that. They saw it for so many years here. The plays where it seemed like it was locked up and it was done, and Hester found an opening, snuck out the backside, did something crazy to get to the end zone. That's still in play here with this guy. And then I think you also have to talk about on the offensive end of things. This is a guy who seems revitalized about having a role in an offense again. And he talked about that, just the ability to be within an offense where they found ways to get him in space, use his skill set. He's excited, and he's excited to play against his former team.
There's no question that this game has so much juice for him, and we've gone back and forth a few times since Devin signed with the Falcons about what the Bears offered him or why they make a greater effort to bring him back. The Bears have been very clear about this, that it was a financial decision. They didn't want, or the Bears said they weren't going to be able to meet Devin's demands. They were going to spend on the defensive line. That isn't what ended up happening. But it's still hard to ignore the results of what Devin's doing down there, and so it will be some sort of, there will be satisfaction if he has a good game.
And it's hard to ignore the storyline because it is so intriguing.
No question about it. All right, we'll keep following it and a lot more as we head into Thursday's practice. For Dan Wiederer, I'm Rich Campbell, and that'll do it for this edition of Bear Download.